All right, I have the channel back up and running, and we are going back in with our very first dolls food video. This week we're going to mix some polymer clay and we're going to make the dolls some fresh green beans. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. All right, so we are going to make some raw green beans for the dolls. So off camera, I did a couple of things. The first thing I did was I mixed and conditioned this green clay. Now, if you have a leaf green clay or a similar color, you could just use that straight out of the package, just condition it. And by the way, I will try to remember at about this point in the video to put one of those little cards up on the top corner that will lead you to my Clay 101 playlist in case you are not very experienced with working with polymer clay and don't understand how to condition or mix colors and things like that. At this point, I'm also going to try to remember to put the photo of the colors I used. Regardless, the photo of the colors I used to mix this will be on the blog post. I used, from my collection of clay, what I had to make leaf green was equal parts Fimo Green, Sculpey 3 Camouflage, Primo Spanish Olive, Sculpey 3 in yellow, and then some white. Equal parts of all of those combined gave me this color. You can work with the colors you've got to come up with a color that is pretty close to a green bean. It's not perfectly matched, but it's close enough. I also off camera rolled a thin snake, and I don't like to have these be perfectly straight. I like them to be curved a little bit, and I baked this for about 7-8 minutes. This will be the stems on some of our green beans. That way we can have this will be pushed into the clay and it won't get malformed, messed up in shape trying to get it in there. Now I have some green beans on hand so that I can look at them for reference. And I've measured them and looked at them thoroughly. It does help if you've got the item you're making. Have it in front of you. Look at it. What does it look like? This one's a little wilted because I actually had it here on my table yesterday to match the color. And excuse me. And I didn't put it away. I just left it out on the counter. So, excuse me. I am going to roll a bunch of balls. I've done a few already. We want balls of clay that are bigger than 1/4 inch, but not as big as 3/8 of an inch. Okay, in that realm. And it's better if they're not all the same size, because when you buy a bunch of green beans, they're not all the same size. They vary. So once you have that, you're going to roll them out till they're about 1/8 of an inch in diameter. You're going to make little snakes. I'll work with one at a time. And then one end, you're going to make a point on. The other end, now I have some liquid clay here, and you do need some liquid clay. It's best if it's liquid clay that will bake and cure to a clear. Bacon Bond would work, clear liquid Sculpey, clear Fimo, clear Kato clay, any of them, just in case a little bit of it shows. So we're going to put that there, make a little hole. This is the not pointed end of our green bean. Then I also have some Fimo Sahara. And that, I'm going to use my pointy tool. And I'm going to kind of hold this still. And I'm just going to make a couple of little, this has not really been conditioned very much, just enough to make a ball. And I just chopped off a little bit with my pointy tool. This pointy tool is actually a dental pick that I got at Dollar Tree a long time ago. Put that up on that end. Take my clay knife, cut off a little piece of this. Push that down in. It will go through that liquid clay, which will act as a glue. Then I'm going to add a little more. Try not to have your clay flip off the table. don't want the same amount of that on every one. You want each one to be a little different. Some of your green beans can be straight and some can be a little bit bent. Because like I said, green beans aren't all the same size. They're not all straight. Some are bent, some are crooked, some are short, some are long. It just depends on how they grew. But they're all in about that size range. And if they get a little bumpy, like I love this. It's got a little, I'm not sure the camera's picking up, but it's got a little bit of texture because it kind of twisted there. And that's cool. That makes it a little different. Another one won't do that. A little tiny dot. I'm going to get a little more liquid clay on my toothpick. And sometimes I don't put the white in, the Sahara in first. Sometimes I just put the stem in and then put that up against it. I like to vary them. I don't like to do it exactly the same each time because I want them to look each a little different. But the Sahara clay is there for a couple of reasons. Number one, most green beans do have a little bit of that little beige part there. And also this helps to hide that joint where the stem and the liquid clay and the green bean all meet. And there's that one. Now let's cut one of these down. I'll just make another ball. Make a slightly shorter green bean. Because remember, in the package of green beans, they're not all long. That one was not much shorter, much smaller. That one's smaller, yeah. And not all of them have a stem on them. So this one I'm not going to put a stem on. This one I'm going to make it very pointed on the end. Just take just the top. I'm going to roll this up a little bit more this time. And see. Just put that at the end. Now, when you get as many green beans made as you're going to make, put them onto a plain white paper plate. Bake them at the recommended temperature for your clay. Since I'm using couple of different brands, and I know that my oven varies in temperature a little bit, I'm baking mine at 225, and I'm going to bake them for about 10 minutes. That'll be plenty of time to get these cured. When these are baked and cured, I'll come back and we will take a look at them. All right, our beans are now baked off and cooled down to room temperature again. You'll see I made them all, most of them I made them a little curved. I made different sizes. A couple of them are broken off. I wanted it to look like real fresh green beans like you might find either after you've picked green beans at the grocery store, at the farmer's market, wherever. And that's what these are going to represent. They've got the little blossom part, the little stems on some of them. I didn't put stems on all of them, just on some. Hop over to the blog post because I took some step-by-step pictures of the assembly of one of them so you can really, hopefully I got a really good close-up shot of each step, and I'll explain over there again as detailed as I can on the blog post so that you can follow the directions. I think the maximum length I would do these is about 2 1/4 to 2.5 inches in length, because any longer than that and they're too long. I love how they came out. Next time we are going to make some cooked green beans, so be sure and come back for that. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure and hit the like button, leave me a comment. What kinds of things would you like to see in future videos? If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, I encourage you, hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up a new video. Thank you so very much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.